The next thing I want to talk about is a couple different areas of your screen that are available in the Microsoft Office programs that are not the ribbon. So up at the top, you have the name of the file and telling you what program you're in. You even have a search bar where you can search for different features of what you're looking to do. So if you're looking, for instance, to underline, you can type underline and it will give you different features, including actions and help on how to underline. You can also use your quick access toolbar right here, which allows you to autosave a file if it is saved onto your OneDrive, which means that essentially Word's going to be backing up any changes you're making automatically to the cloud. You also have quick access tools that you use commonly, like save, undo, redo. And if you click this drop-down menu, you can actually customize what's on here, including even more commands than what's in this list. So if you're somebody who quickly prints things all the time, you can add the quick print feature, and that could be a quick button here. Instead of having to go file and print and choose your settings, you can just click quick print and it'll print to your default settings. Over on the right side, you're logged in to your program, which gives you access to your OneDrive. You can then go ahead and change the way the ribbon is displayed, minimize, maximize, and collapse your screen, and close out your entire file. The next thing I want to show you is down at the bottom. In the bottom left down here, you have the ability to see what page you're on, how many words are in your document. So if you type a word, you'll see that it'll indicate that you now have one word on your document. You can adjust display settings down here in the bottom right, focus in on areas of your screen, and switch between different modes like web layout mode if you're uploading this to the web for a blog or something like that, read mode where you're seeing it without the options of being able to change things, or in this case, the print layout view, which is what it shows what it's going to look like when it prints. The last thing that you have over here is zooming in and out, and you can actually zoom in and out on your document to see different features as much as you want, or adjust your zoom right here. You can also hold control on your keyboard, and while continuously holding control, you can use the scroll wheel on your mouse to go ahead and zoom in and out on your document as well, which allows you to see different things. The last thing that I have that is showing on my screen that may not be on yours is in fact the ruler. The ruler's on the left and on the top. So the question is, which tab would you go to turn the ruler on? This is where the names of things is very important, and where you're not just clicking around rapidly to see if you can find it. Instead, you need to be logically thinking. What's important is that these tabs up at the top of Home, Insert, Design, Layout, References, Mailings, Review, View, and Help are not named what they're named just because Microsoft and Bill Gates decided that we should have an Insert tab. It's because of what's available on that tab. Every program is logically laid out. And what's important to note is that I won't always be here to show you where to find things. And not only that, but they might change. This is not what Word looked like when I started using Word 15 years ago. It didn't even have a ribbon. Everything was a drop-down menu. And so as things change, you need to be able to logically read through what's available to you and see if you can find the features you want. So for instance, the Insert tab is probably going to have a bunch of stuff that we can put onto or insert into our document. And when we go to the Insert tab, you can see it's got things like tables, pictures, smart art, bookmarks, online videos, comments, headers, footers, text boxes, word art, all these different things that we could in fact insert into our file. The Design tab is going to adjust how the document looks as far as like the fonts and the colors and the styles. You've also got things like a watermark, page color, and page borders over here on the right because that's designing your document. Layout is going to give you options of how to lay out the information or content of your document, allowing you to do things like columns, flip your page to be sideways, changing the size of your page, adjusting margins, and those kinds of things. The References tab is probably a tab you've skipped over many, many times because you never used it. But the References tab is actually one of the most useful features of Word because it allows you to create references for the reader, such as like a table of contents, footnotes and endnotes, a citation and bibliography section, as well as captions and an index. These are all great features, and we're actually going to learn how to make Word automate these features for us. The Mailings tab is probably most likely a tab you've never even clicked on because you've never had to mail anything. But you'd be surprised by what you can use a mail merge for, and we are going to look at a mail merge in the future so that you can learn how to combine an entire list of information into a letter, email, labels, all of those types of things, and you'd be surprised how often you can use a mail merge. The review tab is going to allow you to review your document. So this is when your document is done and you're ready to do things like a word count or check accessibility or translate it. Maybe you're adding comments and giving comments to somebody else or tracking changes so you can show them what changes you're making, or you're comparing documents together or restricting the editing that other people have available to them. The view tab is going to allow us to change the way that we are viewing our document. Are we viewing multiple pages? Are we zoomed in or out? What view are we in? And as you can see here, are we showing our ruler or not? So we can turn on our ruler here. The help tab, of course, is to help you out and give you training and those kinds of things. And then the last tab that we started on today was the home tab. So what's the home tab for? It's for all the things you do regularly. You're constantly copying and pasting, changing your font, probably adjusting whether things are centered or right aligned, adding lists. And styles is actually on here, but you probably haven't ever used them for what they're actually for, and editing. So when you have these tabs, they're not just named what they're named for no reason. They have a purpose. So as you're looking for objects, you need to start thinking, am I inserting something into my file? Am I changing the way I'm looking at my file? Am I adjusting how the content is laid out? Am I adding something for the reader to reference? All these are great questions for you to ask yourself as you're trying to find the options that you're looking for.